Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So we're in a little bit of a different setup today. I decided to do this video a little bit more casual. I am filming on my vlog camera today and I am sitting at my makeup desk. I do want to figure out how to set up this setup back here for my makeup videos as well, but as you guys can see, when I film with that setup, I'm sitting on our white bed and I don't want to get makeup all over it. So we're gonna have to figure out something else, but for now, I feel like this setup worked out pretty nice. Let me know what you guys think though down below. But anyways, today I am filming my first impressions and review on all of the products that I showed you guys in my last video that I got during the Sephora VIB sale haul. I had a lot of new exciting things to try, things that have been super raved about and talked about, so I got to try them out for myself today, and this is the look that I ended up getting with those products that I used. I was super excited to film this video because I've been holding off on trying these products for almost a week now until this video, so I could make sure to give you guys my true and honest first impressions on them. The only thing that I did not try in today's video, which I will give you guys my update on once I do use it, is the Moroccanoil dry shampoo. I have not gotten the chance to try this yet, and I do have freshly washed hair, so I will probably try this in my free time and then I will let you guys know in a future video what I think about it, but I am really excited to use this as well. But other than that, I did use everything that I showed you guys in my last video, and I do know the sale is over, but the holidays are still coming up, so if you guys want some recommendations of things to purchase or put on your wish list or to buy for other people as gifts, I will link those past two Sephora videos down below as well so you guys can watch them. Before we do get into this video, if you guys like videos like these and you like me, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. But yeah, without further ado, if you guys want to see my first impressions on these products and watch me create this makeup look, then please keep watching. I did go ahead and do my brows off camera. I did use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz that I did purchase during the sale as well. But I did mention to you guys, this is the brow product that I use every single time I do my brows. So that's why I didn't include it in this video and I just did it off camera because it's nothing new. It is in the shade taupe as well, in case you guys are wondering. But I did film a little TikTok/reel of my eyebrow routine, just like a really quick short video, which I'll probably upload on here as well. So if you guys are interested, I'll have like my TikTok and Instagram in the description, so you guys can go check that out as well if it's not on here already. If you guys do want like an in-depth brow routine, let me know and I'll film that for you guys. And then to prime my eyes, I just primed them the same way that I always do, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer and then the Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. I wanted to prime them the same way that I normally do, so that way when I try this new palette, I can compare it to the same way that I normally prime my eyes. But before we start anything makeup wise, I want to go ahead and try the LANEIGE lip sleeping mask in the, I was about to say in the shade, in the scent Peppermint. I mean, I probably could have used this and not held this off until the first impressions because I've had so many of these. I don't even want to touch this because it looks so pretty, but it's kind of gross. But I usually just take my nail and I scrape like that much. It smells so minty. It smells so good. I honestly love how it makes my lips look. Like, it looks like I have a gloss, but they look like super hydrated and plump. Ooh, and now it's kind of starting to tingle actually. My friend, when she tried it in Sephora, she was telling me, because I was like, no, I can't try it because I want to wait for my video. But she tried the sample in Sephora and she was telling me that it was a little bit tingly, and now I see what she's saying. I honestly love when products feel tingly on my lips. I don't know why. It makes me feel like they're getting plump. This is for sure my new favorite scent already. So we're gonna go ahead and get into my first impressions. You guys can see me in my vlogging camera. And just so you guys know too, I am gonna be using mostly the MORPHE times ARIEL brushes. I'll show you guys some of them. This is what they look like. I'm sure you guys have seen them. These are like my go-to makeup brushes that I use for literally everything, in case you guys are wondering, and I'll link them down below too. I think they still sell them, but I've used them literally like every single day since I got them. I'm obsessed with them. But this palette, oh my god, I don't even want to touch it. You guys know when you get a new palette and it just looks so pretty. These are the shades and they're so stunning. These are definitely shades that I would wear literally every single day. I'm like definitely like a matte neutrals lover, but I'm going to do this palette justice and I'm gonna try the shimmer shades too today, just so I can give you guys like my full first impressions and how I feel about the palette. To start out, I'm just gonna take this neutral shade right here. I guess I should read you guys the shades. It's been so long since I filmed a makeup tutorial. I wanna say it's the shade Absolutely. So I'm gonna take it on this fluffy brush and I'm just gonna start to put that into my crease. Tap off the excess. Ooh, right off the bat, it's definitely pigmented. I tend to not really dig into my palettes that much, I've realized, which is why I rarely ever hit pan on an eyeshadow, because I really barely tap into eyeshadows. So when I get like a good amount of pigment, it's usually because it's pretty pigmented. But I'm just gonna use this shade as a transition. This palette's really exposing everything around me because it's just like a big mirror. I haven't filmed doing my makeup in so long, like I said, so hopefully I'm able to get you guys a good look at what I'm doing while I'm trying to see what I'm doing myself. I usually like to drag out my shadow like up and out. And then I do use tape still a lot on my eyeshadow looks. I probably should have done that today. I wouldn't say it has like too much pickup on the palette, which is nice. I mean, that doesn't really bother me usually, to be honest. But I know it does bother some people. And so far, I don't really see that much, but again, I'm usually pretty light when it comes to how I dip my brush in the palette. Okay, so I'm really loving the shade. It's definitely blending out pretty easily. Very similar to my Makeup by Mario palette and my Natasha Denona bronze palette. It's very buttery, very easy to blend, and it's like the perfect transition shade. I feel like I'm definitely gonna be using this shade very often for my crease. Okay, I actually decided I do wanna go ahead and add tape as well. So since I've only done the transition, I'm gonna go ahead and I just use regular Scotch tape. I don't know if people still do this, but I love the look that this gives. It's like the biggest hack to get like that nice, sharp, like winged out look with your eyeshadow. So I always just line it up with like my bottom waterline and then go out. So if you guys can see, it just kind of follows my bottom waterline up and out. And I'm gonna look kind of crazy for a while I have this tape on my face, but this is what I normally do, honestly. So I think I'm gonna take this like redder brown shade here. It definitely has like a red undertone. I'm gonna take this flatter crease brush, also from the Morphe x Ariel collab. And I'm just gonna pick up a little bit on my brush, tap off the excess, and I'm gonna focus this more on like the outer V. These are really nice. Once I start to get to the darker brown shades, that's when I can really tell how it blends out, because these can be a little bit tricky if they're not formulated that great, but this seems to be blending out super nicely already. I really like that color. I'm also gonna kind of like stamp it, and then I'll blend out the edges. I'm gonna take it kind of like midway into my crease too. Yeah, I'm glad I decided to do the tape because I feel like this is gonna look really pretty winged out. I'm not getting any patchiness whatsoever. Yeah, these are definitely high quality shadows. I can already tell. That's why everybody is obsessed with this palette. Of course, my camera already is overheating, so it's probably gonna shut off like a billion times during this video. But anyways, I just finished out blending my crease, and I typically would take this lighter shade and put it all over my lid. That's like my go-to every day. I take like a lighter matte shade like this one, and I'll put it on my lid. But since we're gonna do the shimmers today, I'm gonna skip out on that part. I'm thinking, I don't know which shimmer I want to use. I think I'm thinking either this one or that one right there. I think I'm probably gonna go with that one. I feel like I don't know how these shades are gonna take to just applying to a flat brush. Usually with a shade like this, I just use my finger, and then I'll sometimes like spray a flat brush with some setting spray and pick up that way. But I'm gonna try it first just with my finger, just to see. These feel really similar to like the Huda Beauty shimmers, if you guys are familiar with those, but that is such a pretty color. So I'm just gonna place this onto my lid. Yeah, it's definitely giving a similar formula to the Huda Beauty shimmers for sure. Or pressed glitters, I'm not sure what they call these. But it's giving like that foiling effect. It's always harder to get into the inner corners with my nails, so that's typically when I go in with a flat brush. I'm getting minimal fallout, but again, I've just used my finger so far. I'm gonna dip into it just with a dry brush and see how it applies that way. Yeah, it definitely gives like just like a wash of glitter. Pretty hard to pick it up on just like a dry flat brush, which I don't normally do anyway, but I just wanted to kind of see how it would perform that way. I'm going to a hockey game tonight at like 10 p.m. and I'm gonna be like full beat. It's fine. So I just took my Charlotte Tilbury spray and I sprayed my brush. So let's see how it applies this way. Definitely getting more fallout now that I'm using a brush, but that's kind of to be expected. And I think it applies really nice with the brush when it's sprayed. But I'm just blending out the edges to try and get rid of the glitter from my crease. That's another reason I'm not a big fan of the shimmer, because it just gets everywhere and I want to have like a matte crease, but usually blending it gets the majority of it out of there. Okay, so this is what it's looking like so far. I do think it looks pretty. Again, I'm more of like a matte girl, so I'm not crazy about it, but again, I wanted to give you guys like a full effect, but I loved the matte shades. I'm gonna take this lighter shimmery shade down here. On that same brush, I wiped it off as best as I could, and I'm gonna use it to highlight my brow bone and then my inner corner. I've been loving like a highlighted inner corner. This is definitely a more glittery color. So I don't know if I'm crazy about it in my brow bone, but it definitely is a pretty color. Now I have glitter in my brows. Oh my gosh. Okay, I probably wouldn't put that shade under my brow bone again, just because it got glitter in my brows. But I'm sure it'll be really pretty in the inner corner. Oh, it's pretty. Yeah, I do like that actually. I think that's really pretty. I think it's better when you spray the shade as well. Get your brush a little bit wet. And I definitely have quite a bit of fallout now from the glitter. So I think I'm gonna take the darker brown shade. I'm a little bit scared to use the creams with the shimmer, so I'm just gonna stick with the matte brown. I'm gonna take the super tiny flat brush from the ARIEL and MORPHE palette. And I'm gonna dip into this darker brown right here, and I'm gonna create kind of like a brown smoked out wing. Oh my god, that's so pigmented. I was not expecting that actually. Wow, okay, that's honestly probably the best dark brown shade I've used for a liner. I can already tell. Because I don't know, something about like the brown shadows, when I use them for a liner, the more that I smudge it, I will lose the color. Like the brown will start getting patchy and fade, even with the Makeup by Mario one. But that was so easy. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some lashes, and then I'll be back to show you guys how it looks with the lashes. Okay, so I'm back. As you guys see, I have lashes on now. I went ahead and added my go-to lash, which is Lily Lashes in the style Mykonos Light, and I feel like lashes just make everything better. I will say it's a lot more intense than I intended for it to be, but it's just because the shadows were so pigmented. But for my thoughts on the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 1 palette, I feel like the matte shades are stunning, and I feel like it's probably going to be my new go-to palette for my neutral, like matte everyday look. Now, as for the shimmer, I feel like the longer that I'm wearing it, the more that it's transferring into my crease, and I feel like I just have glitter everywhere. I'm just not a big like shimmer glitter shadow girl, so I probably won't be using those as much. However, I do think they're really stunning if you guys do like a glitter shadow, and I think it'd be really pretty if I used it for like a cut crease. I'm gonna go ahead and do my base makeup, my foundation, and all that good stuff so we can get into the next products, which is going to be concealer and powder. Okay, so I just went in and did my foundation and my cream bronzer. I always do my cream bronzer before my concealer. I don't know why, it's just a habit of mine. But in case you guys are wondering, I did use the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. I mentioned this to you guys in my recommendations video. It is my favorite foundation right now. I used it in the shade 6. Oh, and then underneath this, sorry if you guys hear the fireworks. It's Veterans Day. Some people are putting fireworks up. Under my foundation, I did use the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter in the shade 4. And then for my cream bronzer, I did a combination of the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Wand, the contour wand. It's in the shade Fair Medium. And then I also used a little bit of the Anastasia cream bronzer in the shade Caramel. I really like this cream bronzer too. But then also before I do my concealer, I like to contour my nose. That way it kind of blends with my concealer. After I put my concealer on, you guys will kind of see. But I'm just gonna contour my nose. So that's basically how I contour my nose. I know it looks a little bit crazy right now, but I just let it sit, and then I'll put my concealer kind of right up next to it and in the center, and then it'll blend nicely. I probably should have talked about this before I looked crazy, but the next product is probably the most exciting product that I'm going to use. I cannot wait to try this. It is the Huda Beauty Luminous Matte Liquid Concealer. I've heard so many good things about this. I got it in the shade Coconut Flakes 2.7, and I know that it's supposed to be like a matte finish, but it also says luminous, so I'm interested to see how it looks and how it blends out under the eyes. I know some people will leave their under eye concealer for a little bit before putting on their powder under their eyes to let it dry down a little bit, but I usually go right in with a powder under my eyes because I don't like it to crease, and it usually creases pretty quickly. So I'm interested to see if this one will give me a little bit more time in between setting it, and I'm interested to see if it doesn't crease on me. And I'm also going to be using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder. This one's in the shade Pound Cake. I did mention to you guys that I have the shade Banana Bread and I'm obsessed with it, but I needed a lighter one, so I'm interested to see how that's going to work out. I'm just going to go ahead and apply this everywhere where I apply my concealer. Definitely has a really big doe foot applicator, which I really like, kind of similar to the Tarte Shape Tape applicator, except it's kind of curved, which is really interesting. I wonder if they did that so it kind of like goes like with the shape of your under eye. I feel like that's pretty smart. But I'm gonna go ahead and apply this and we'll see how it works. Hopefully it's a good shade. Actually seems like it's a really good shade. Definitely applied more than I was expecting because I'm used to my little NARS applicator. But so far so good. It still has a lot of product. I haven't even dipped in to the product again yet. Okay, I'm gonna dip back in for my under eyes. Ooh, I think it just splashed a little bit. It's kind of messy the way that the applicator is. I still do like a triangle underneath my eyes. I don't know, I feel like people do like a lot less concealer now than they used to. But I still pretty much do that same like triangle technique. And I'm gonna clean up the sides. And then I always put it like all on the side of my nose. And then in there in that crease on the side of my nose. So I'm gonna dip in again. Yeah, I don't know, it gets stuck like when you pull it out, so it kind of splashes the product a little bit. I'm gonna wipe off a little bit too. Okay, so I have it applied. everywhere that I usually put my concealer. I know it looks like a lot. It's because I like a full coverage glam. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and blend this all out. By the way, this sponge is my absolute favorite. Okay, I would say a little bit goes a long way. Probably more concealer than I would normally use for my chin. I probably should have taken a little bit easy, but that blended really nicely. And I really like the shade. It's probably gonna be a lot on my forehead. I usually just blend out a little bit with the Beauty Blender on my forehead, and then I'll take my cream contour brush, and then I'll kind of like blend out the edges. And then I'll take the concealer and then just kind of pat it over the cream bronzer. I really like it so far. I haven't even gotten to my under eyes yet, but so far, this concealer is really nice. It's definitely a full coverage concealer, I'll tell you that. It covered up the bronzer so quickly. And then for the moment of truth, I'm gonna blend out my under eyes. It definitely isn't giving like super matte. You guys can see there's still like a pretty nice sheen to the concealer. It doesn't look like it's like sucking all of the hydration out from my under eyes, and it doesn't feel like really heavy and dry either. Honestly, it's pretty comparable to Tarte Shape Tape, I'd say. Definitely not like a lighter concealer like my NARS Radiant. Honestly, I think this is my new favorite concealer. It's so nice. That makes me so excited. I haven't tried a new concealer or like switched my concealer in a really long time, and I'm not gonna set it right away like I normally do. I'm gonna go in with my next product that we're gonna try, and we're gonna see if my under eyes crease like they normally do. But the next product I'm gonna try is the NARS Cream Blush. This one is in the shade Orgasm. If you guys know, I do have the powder one, and maybe I'll actually use that today instead of my Dior blush, which is what I usually use. Oh my god, you know what I just remembered? I lost my NARS Orgasm blush, the powder version. I just remembered that. I need to repurchase another one. I lost it in a wedding that I was in when I was a bridesmaid, and I did my makeup in there. I think I left it there, or somebody borrowed it, and it just disappeared. But now I have the cream blush. So I'm probably gonna do this, and then I'll just layer my Dior powder blush on top. But I'm gonna go ahead and apply this before I set my under eyes. I will say they're starting to crease a little bit, but definitely not like they normally do. So I'm just gonna be very careful. Oh my god, that's definitely not how you open it. Why did I do that? I just unscrewed it. I almost made a big mess. Oh, I did make a big mess. Love that for me. Okay, it's a pump. It's not an unscrew. I don't know why I did that. So I'm gonna take a little bit on the back of my hand. That probably is way too much, honestly, but I think what I'm gonna do is just apply a little bit with my finger, and then I'll blend it with my Beauty Blender. Oh my god, I'm scared. I feel like that could be a lot. I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose too, actually. It looks super hot pink. I don't know what it is about the lights in Sephora, but it looked so different in Sephora. I don't know if you guys saw. I thought I got the wrong one because it looked so different. But I'm gonna blend it with my Beauty Blender. Okay, it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. I was scared my cheeks were gonna be bright pink. With the Beauty Blender, I feel like it kind of absorbs some of the product, so it's not like crazy pigmented. But this is what the blush looks like up close. I feel like it's really pretty. It's nothing crazy. I don't really see the glitter as much as I did when I swatched it on my hand. I'm just gonna apply a little bit more. But I feel like it's very similar to like my Rare Beauty blush that I have. But it's really pretty, I like it. It's not as like breathtaking as I thought it was gonna be when I swatched it in the store. but it's definitely really pretty. Okay, so now that I've done my blush, my under eyes definitely have some creasing. I don't know if you guys can tell when I get up close, but definitely crease like they normally do. That's why I typically set my under eyes like almost right away, but I just wanted to see if this one would perform differently since it says that it is a matte concealer. I'm just gonna blend out my under eyes again with my beauty blender, and then I'm gonna go into my Easy Bake powder. I will say the Easy Bake, the scent is really crazy. Like really, really strong. So I kind of wish she didn't have a scent because I kind of have to hold my breath when I apply. Just casually dying. But other than that, I'm obsessed with this powder, and I definitely needed this shade a long time ago. Oh my gosh, I don't know what took me so long. The minute that I got banana bread, I should have exchanged it. I feel like the combo of this concealer and this powder is everything. I'm doing this every single time I do my makeup now. I feel like this is like my new go-to combo for concealer and powder. So I'm also gonna use the same powder to set my chin and my smile lines and right in the center of my forehead. Again, just holding my breath while I apply this. Okay, so I went ahead and finished off the rest of my makeup, and honestly, I'm really obsessed with the way that it looks. I'm not crazy about the shimmer again, but it's honestly kind of lost its pigment the more that this video has gone on. It's not as like intense anymore, but I definitely will say I could go without the glitter. But other than that, I feel like my makeup turned out really good, especially my base. I feel like that Huda powder and the concealer put together really was just like an airbrush finish combo. But I went ahead and wiped off what I had of the LANEIGE lip sleeping mask on. I'm gonna line my lips with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat lip liner. This one's in the shade Iconic Nude, I believe. Yeah, Iconic Nude. Needs to be sharpened, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quick, and then I'm gonna line my lips. So that is the lip liner on. And then I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty lipstick, matte lipstick in Staycation. I feel like it's definitely gonna be a lighter nude, but we're gonna go ahead and try this on and see how it looks. Yeah, it's definitely pretty light. I think I'm gonna focus it mainly on the center of my lips, and then I'm gonna kind of go back in with the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner and outline it. I actually really like this shade. I don't typically go for a nude this light, but the formula feels really comfortable. Even though it says matte, it feels like pretty hydrating. It doesn't feel super drying. It's not giving like that butthole lip effect yet, which is good. I'm just gonna kind of blend the edges. Yeah, I actually really like that. And I feel like with a brown lip liner blended out on the edges, it would look even prettier. I really want to get that Makeup by Mario milk chocolate lip liner. I feel like it would be such a pretty combo with this, but I definitely feel like I'm going to be wearing this more often. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me try all these new products. For an overview, I pretty much am obsessed with everything. The only thing that I'm not like super crazy about is the shimmer shades in the Patrick Ta palette. I haven't really watched many reviews on it, but I don't really know what other people have said about the shimmers for people who wear shimmers more often and have something else to compare it to. But the concealer was amazing, the powder was amazing, the blush is really pretty, and the lipstick I'm really, really loving as well. If you guys do end up trying any of these products, let me know down below because I'd love to know what you guys think about them. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you guys so much, and I hope to see you guys next time.